With the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX being this year, many Final Fantasy fans have been speculating that a remake may be on the horizon. However, the anniversary came and went. We got no remake reveal, and everyone's optimism turned into doom and gloom. Every Final Fantasy IX post I've seen online is filled to the brim with negative and demanding comments. It took no time at all for several sensationalist articles to come out about how the remake is cancelled. Heck, even Domino's was calling for a remake announcement on their official page. And don't get me wrong, that last point at least is pretty freaking funny. But I think we have to reel in our expectations here. Sure, it might have been Final Fantasy IX's anniversary, and from an emotional standpoint, that is significant. But from a business perspective, it's ultimately an arbitrary day. Like it or not, we have to remember that Square is a business. A potential Final Fantasy IX remake is a product, and in order to maximize profits, they would want to extend their reach as far as they can. To those of us who already cared about Final Fantasy IX, sure, the anniversary is important, but it means nothing to the wider breadth of potential new players. It's an ordinary day, and if they were to reveal it then, the only people tuning in would likely be those of us who already cared. Instead, I think it's more realistic to expect that if there is a remake in the works, that it would be revealed at a larger event, something like the Tokyo Game Show or the Game Awards. I think something that especially lends to this, at least in my opinion, is the 25th anniversary fan art project. Looking into the details, submissions are being accepted until October, and selected submissions are to be featured on the official Final Fantasy website. Why do they want submissions around October? If they're going to be announcing the remake at a major event, they would want the winning selections ready to go as promotional material. That said, they are accepting submissions until October 31st, which is after TGS, so it's possible we could be looking at a Game Awards reveal. But it does specify here that dates may slightly vary, so who knows? Another reason I think it's extremely important for Square to reveal the 9 remake at a major event is because they don't want to repeat their previous mistake with 9. Compared to its PS1 siblings 7 and 8, and compared to 10 that came afterward, 9 really lagged behind in sales despite fans often describing it as the definitive Final Fantasy experience. Why? I'll tell you why. Here's a little brain teaser for you. Final Fantasy IX was released for the PS1 on July 7th in 2000. You know what else was released a few months earlier on March 4th, 2000? The PS2! You know, only the best-selling console of all time. The console that people were lining up outside of stores for. The PS1 was old news, leading to the PS1 game Final Fantasy IX, released after the PS2 launch, to be effectively dead on arrival. With even Hironobu Sakaguchi, the father of Final Fantasy, citing 9 as his favorite Final Fantasy, it's certainly not lost on Square that it's not the game itself that was the problem. It was their release timing. If they were to make a remake, I think they would want to give it the justice it deserves by revealing it at a major event, where millions of people will be exposed to it. My next point, and this is a short one, but not any less important. Did you all watch that 25th anniversary special movie? Were you listening to it? I was. And I have listened to Melodies of Life probably 1 billion times. Does it not sound re-recorded to you? 'Cause it does to me. Here, take a listen.
Voice from the past, joining yours and mine, adding up the layers of harmony. And so it goes on and on. Melodies of life to the sky beyond the flying birds, forever and beyond. A voice from the past, joining yours and mine, adding up the layers of harmony. And so it goes on and on.
Why would they re-record a brief section of the song just for a YouTube video? That doesn't make sense. Especially with how it's cut, I think there's more to it we haven't heard yet. My final point, and maybe this is the most tinfoil hat of them all, is a little sweetheart some of you may not have heard of, the Memoria project. As per its YouTube channel, the Memoria project is a non-playable passion project led by a team of professional developers and artists in the video game industry that aims to reimagine what the legendary game would look like if it was remade with modern graphical capabilities. The team behind it clearly has passion, and yet the channel has no updates in 2 years. I'm thinking one of two things. Square saw the incredible talent that was put into the Memoria project and recruited them to work on an actual remake, explaining why the channel would have gone silent, NDAs and all that jazz. And if not that, at the very least, I believe the Memoria project was instrumental in showing Square just how much people would love a 9 remake, which could have prompted them to start working on it themselves. All in all, my point is to not give up hope on a 9 remake just yet. I just think good timing is important, and really, why shouldn't we be willing to afford 9 at least that? 9 is perhaps one of the most emotionally impactful and beautifully written games in the whole series. Even though I played it for the first time around 12 years ago, Melodies of Life can still make me ugly cry, and there are certain scenes and moments that I like to look back on when I'm feeling extra depressed and alone. And I'd still kill everyone in this world and then myself if anything ever happened to Vivi. I think there's tons of people out there with similar feelings. I, for one, don't mind waiting if it means 9 can get the recognition it deserves and has deserved for 25 years. But enough about my thoughts. How about yours? Feel free to comment below, and if you liked my strange and unusual aura, I'd super appreciate it if you could subscribe. I'm a small VTuber that loves JRPGs and has been a die-hard Final Fantasy fan for 18 years, and I'll be streaming the process of my fan art project submission, as well as games like World of Final Fantasy, the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, and basically whichever other game I want, because I have all of them, and I'm making it everyone's problem. Thanks so much for hearing me out, and I hope to see you again.